Hey, Soraya, how's it going?
Jeff, now good.
Now?
Now good.
What about before?
Well, I mean, before it was good too, but today is good. Real good.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because it is the first day of summer.
Woo, nice.
My grades are in. So
Nice.
it's official start to my short but sweet summer vacation.
Nice. So is there a posting that I can look
Yes,
for?
there is. There is. For anyone who follows me, and for those of you who don't, I'll just share on Facebook whenever I'm done posting grades, whenever that is, I always post "You and I Are the Summertime" by Permanent Green Light. To me, it's like the perfect summer song, and it's the perfect way to bring on summer vacation.
So it's official. That makes it official. That's like the stamp of summer.
That's at least my stamp. My stamp.
Awesome.
But Jeff,
Oh, yes.
I wanted to say today
Okay.
is also a good day because you and I are doing something out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm a little nervous.
Look, I just heard a quote the other day, and it was like, it was something like, in order to gain, you have to suffer.
Okay.
So I don't think of this as suffering, but we're trying something new.
Yeah, it's
So
new.
why don't you let our listeners in on what our new thing is?
So we're going to try a different approach. As many people know, the Dream Syndicate recently released their new record, Ultraviolet Battle Hymns and True Confessions. I don't have a copy, but you're holding up a beautiful copy that's still sealed.
Still sealed.
Neither one of us have heard the album. Oh, and a little tiny CD copy too.
Jeez.
So you were smart. You ordered on Bandcamp, didn't you?
I'll be honest, I don't remember where I ordered. I just know that I ordered. I'd have to go into. You're asking me too many things at the end of a semester.
Yeah, and plus that was a couple months ago because I believe you placed your order as soon as it went on, and I'm hearing a lot of people are getting theirs, and everybody that's getting theirs, I'm hearing that they order from Bandcamp, and I ordered elsewhere, and my copy is not due till July. So
boo.
Boo. Yeah, so I don't have a copy yet, but we are going to listen to it together for the first time today and have our initial first reactions live.
Why not?
And so the album is 46 minutes long, so it's not going to be a super long episode because we're going to truncate those when we do the editing. So we won't play the whole songs on the episode. We'll play samples, but our follow-up reactions, you'll hear all of it.
I think that's perfect.
I think we should get started.
Let's do it. Hi, this is Soraya.
And this is Jeff.
Our podcast is called Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme,
a podcast where the two of us play music that we like and share anecdotes and background about the tunes.
We hope you'll join our conversation. And without further ado, a grooviar.
Let's get groovy. All right, should I throw out a couple quick stats before we start?
Let's do it.
So it's getting a lot of great reviews, 4 and 5-star reviews. It was officially released on June 10th of this year, a couple of weeks ago on Fire Records, and there are all kinds of bundles that you can buy and get all kinds of goodies. You can get digital files, a CD file, and a black or violet vinyl version. I ordered the black. Do you know what you ordered?
I don't remember. I'm going to open it while you keep going.
Let's do an unboxing. So it was recorded at Montrose Recording in Virginia, I believe, if I remember when they were when the band was posting last year about the recording sessions. And again, it is produced by John Agnello and the band, the Dream Syndicate. That's been kind of the team for the last few records. And the lineup, we know Steve Wynn, Jason Victor, Dennis Duck, Mark Walton, and I think Marcus Tenney, who played trumpet on the last record or two. He's back. And then also Stephen McCarthy joins in as a guest. I think just singing. I don't believe he's playing guitar this time. But
And Chris Cactus.
that's right. Chris Cactus, our buddy on keyboards, as a regular member. So what do you got?
Look at this.
So you're opening it up, Soraya. That looks like that not only looks violet, that looks like ultraviolet. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful vinyl you have in your hand. Yeah.
And it comes in this sleeve.
Nice, nice. What about that picture on the cover? It looks like a reverse negative image of a dog walking across the kitchen floor or something.
That's what it looks like to me.
Or is it a coyote?
There's also a postcard with the same image and then a download code.
Nice.
Wow, this is gorgeous, beautiful.
Nice.
Well done.
Nice. Any credits listed anywhere?
Okay, so hold on. So right on the front on this sticker.
Yes, there's a hype sticker.
Hype sticker. Brand new album from the Dream Syndicate blends vintage krautrock, Eno-like ambiance, new inspired rhythmic groove, and a Californian sun-baked sheen into their classic psychedelic melodic hue. The Dream Syndicate have moved well past their early Velvet Underground influences and taken on British glam, German prog, and more.
Nice.
Quote, clever, ambitious, and blessedly noisy, end quote, from all music. Featuring singer-songwriter guitarist Steve Wynn, drummer Dennis Duck, bassist Mark Walton, lead guitarist Jason Victor, plus their newest member, Chris Cactus on keyboards, plus guest appearances from Stephen McCarthy of the Long Riders and Marcus Tenney's expressive sax and trumpet work. Quote, atmospheric rock music veering between noise and subtlety, compelling, end quote, by Pitchfork. And nice. Let me look on the sleeve.
Nice.
Yeah, there is. So
there are a few credits. Here, no lyrics.
No lyrics. So just running down, the Dream Syndicate, Ultraviolet, Violet, Hymns, and True Confessions. Steve Wynn, guitar lead vocals. Jason Victor, guitar backing vocals. Mark Walton, bass, backing vocals. Dennis Duck, drums, backing vocals. Chris Cactus, keyboards, with Marcus Tenney, sax, trumpet. Stephen McCarthy, backing vocals. Linda Pittman, backing vocals. Alexandra Spalding, backing vocals. And then a few more, all songs written by Steve Wynn, except The Chronicles of You and Every Time You Come Around, written by Steve Wynn and Emil Nikolaisen. And I'm sorry if I messed up the last name. Beyond Control, written by Steve Wynn, Chris Cactus, and Trying to Get Over, written by Steve Wynn and Dennis Duck. Produced by the Dream Syndicate and John Agnello. Recorded by John Agnello and Adrian Olson at Montrose Recording, Richmond, Virginia. Mixed by John Agnello at the Rabbit Hole in Raleigh, North Carolina. Mastered by Greg Calby and Steve Fallone at Sterling Sound, Edgewater, New Jersey. And then it says facilitator, Pat Thomas. Artwork, Alex Hornsby. Photos, Steve Wynn, so that dog is and then it adds the booking information.
Nice.
So neat. Oh,
very cool. Well, I am dying to hear this. The band has posted a few videos, and Soraya, we had talked about doing this plan for a few months ago. I think when we first placed our orders, that we were going to do the initial listen, and that we weren't going to listen until we recorded this episode, which I pretty much stayed true to, but the band did share 3 videos, and I did click on them and get like 10 seconds in and stop them. So I haven't even seen the videos yet, but I've heard a couple seconds of a few of these songs, including Damien for sure. But the record starts off with the lead-off track that I often mistitle as the title track. I think I did that on our Oblivious episode on our Left of the Dial. I think I called it the title track when I meant to say lead-off track. So the lead-off track is called Where I'll Stand, solely written by Steve Wynn. I'd say we listen to it and see what we think.
Let's go.
Here we go. All right, your initial thoughts?
I really like it. That's kind of a joining of a lot of different influences. That beginning keyboard, Chris Kakovitz genius at the beginning.
Yeah.
I really thought the song was going to go one way. And then those guitars come in and go, oh, time to turn it around. But like, there's some really cool stuff going on in this song, especially with the guitars.
Yeah. I think the guitar solo might be backwards guitar, or there's some cool effects on it, on the little solo part.
Yeah.
It sounds super cool. Totally in Steve Wynn's wheelhouse right there. Like
100%.
Yeah. To me, this sounds like the kind of song that after 4 or 5 listens, like it's definitely got you for good. And it'll probably be one of those classic Dream Syndicate songs that they'll probably play for the rest of their lives.
And that end, like I can't get off of it. Like I'm hearing the hold on tight.
Yeah.
Hold on tight.
Yeah.
It's wow, that's a good one. What a lead off track.
Yeah, very, very cool. I believe that was the first video that they released, or the first song. I don't know if it was an actual formal video, but I think they did release that a few months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. I think they released that as kind of a sneak peek track. So, and then the next one, the follow-up song number 2 was there was definitely a video for it. And this was Damien. And I think this was like somebody like filmed and produced like almost like a mini movie, I think.
Yeah.
I think I ended up watching it. I think I started it, stopped it after like 10 seconds, and then got the really smart idea that I would watch it without listening. So I watched it and turned the sound down. So don't know what the song is like, but the video is kind of cool. I think a guy driving around town, and maybe I think he was like had like a fire outside in the parking lot or something, made like a little fire or something. But seems like a really cool video. Would have been cooler if I had a song to listen to. So anyway, so let's listen to the next one. This is Damien.
Parlor tricks and swizzle sticks, the sour mix ain't gonna fix a thing like it did before. You don't have to run and hide. They say the time was always on your side anyway. They say it's just a part of the game.
All right, so I hear Linda Pittman in there for sure. So to me, this definitely has a vibe. I feel like I'm listening to the radio in like 1970. Steely Dan just played, and maybe a little river band, and then this song comes on. I like it. I like it a lot. Steve's little rap talking voice in the early verses sounds really cool, and the guitars are super clean. Like there's not a lot of distortion on this one. This album so far is definitely not the Universe Inside. So
no, this is completely different. It has a very different vibe, different. At least, I mean, we're only 2 tracks in,
right?
But that end of that guitar, and forgive me, it sounded like picking like ding, ding, ding,
yeah.
ding, ding. That's hypnotic at the end, and it, the way he's rapping through it, and like you just go in. It's just the name of the game. And that initial strumming, it reminds me of another 70s song. Way at the beginning is like, bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
It's reminding me of, it'll come to me, but it reminds me of another 70s song, like kind of slow, vibey. I'm like, it sounds familiar, but then you get into it and it's just not.
Yeah.
And I want a lyric sheet.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. I
want a lyric sheet, but it's okay.
Yeah.
What a great song and really cool vibe. I just like, yeah. Right now we're seeing first song goes one way, second song goes another.
Yeah.
Whew, I like it.
See what happens next. So the next song, Beyond Control, as you mentioned, was one of the tracks that he had a co-writer on, guy that we love a lot, Chris Kakavez. This is the longest song on the album, not 20 minutes. Like
no, but it's 5 minutes 55 seconds. So it's while it's one of the longer tracks on this album, definitely not the longest in the when we're talking about Dream Syndicate songs.
No, definitely not. No, this is like one of the in and out songs. This is like a jingle compared to some of the other songs. All right, so let's listen to Beyond Control.
I'm a loosely bound novel without an opening line. I'm a preamble and a middle. The story's hard to find. Hanging on for dear life. Just beyond control.
All right, they took us even in another direction here too. So it starts off, I'm sure, with Chris Kakavez's little sequencer type thing. I wonder if it was that little chord thing that he showed us on one of our.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it sounded kind of like some sounds he was getting from that when he was sharing that. Maybe not, but I really liked maybe like 2/3 into the song, there were some really cool backing vocals that were kind of ethereal and floaty. I really like the sound of that, and it sounds like somebody was like kind of jumping in with a clean guitar and like kind of mimicking what Chris was doing with the little sequencing part. But I am curious about the sequencing of the song. This sounds like it would be like a side 2 song to me, but I like it. It's got a cool groove.
Yeah, I like Dennis Duck's drumming and drum fills, because it at the very beginning, it starts off with that really kind of quirky sound that we get from Chris Kakavez. I'm wondering if it's that sequencer just because of how it sounded, and then the drums kick in, and like that's why I had to grab a pen and paper, because I was like, it sounded like a heartbeat, and instead of like going, it was going faster and faster and faster. And then when the lyrics kick in, I like this. I'm a walking, coming attraction. I'm a loosely bound novel. And then a little later on, in the story is hard to find, and and then this whole, but that last line that he repeats a couple of times towards the end of the song, when did you release your soul? It's getting beyond your control.
Wow.
This is why I need a lyric sheet.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I like it.
I looked on Bandcamp to see if there was lyrics listed, and I didn't see those. Sometimes bands will put their lyrics on there, but the last few releases, Soraya, we've gotten press kits from the band. We didn't we haven't received one yet. So
now they're relying on me and my ancient ears. But and then that kind of, I'm wondering if we're talking about the same thing, that kind of fuzzy guitar Was that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was a different one than what
Okay.
I was.
That fuzzy guitar, I literally wrote right next to it, I'd go Jason ? And makes me think it might be him, but what do I know? I don't know nothing.
I would think so too.
But I like, there's so many different sounds, but we're at track 3 and nothing sounds the same.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see what happens with track number 4, which we're going from possibly the longest song to the shortest song. This one clocks in under 3 minutes, Soraya, and I think it's the only one that falls into that category. This one is The Chronicles of You, co-written by someone named Emil Nicolaisen, I think. And when I looked up his name, he's a Norwegian musician and producer that I don't know anything about. But as you mentioned at the top of the hour, that Steve Wynn co-wrote 2 of the songs on here, and this is the first of the 2. So this is The Chronicles of You.
I am not waiting to play my part in the chronicles of you.
Yep.
Again, something different.
Really liking this vibe
Yeah.
in these songs, and it just sounds so earthy and kind of, yeah, exactly like
So it starts off with that, I think it's a tremolo guitar, which reminds me of like How Soon Is Now by
Right.
something like that. And then that trumpet is super vibey.
It's eerie.
Or sax, whatever it is. I think it's a trumpet, but whatever it is, that's super vibey. I like that brass in there, whatever it is. And then there's a guitar in there. I think it's what it's called, an EBow, I think, or a slide. I think it's an EBow. So an EBow is a little handheld device that has, I think, 2 magnets in it, and you hold it with your picking hand over the string, and the 2 magnets vibrates the string. So it kind of produces like what it would sound like if you were to take a bow, like a violin bow, and so they call it an EBow, like an electric bow, and has like a slide. I don't know if it's that or an actual slide on it, but that part's really cool too. So
It's a completely different sound.
Yeah.
Coming out of that guitar. Yeah. And I like that kind of as Steve starts singing, it's it reminds me of those old-timey mics where like there was like
yeah.
like a shield over it.
Yeah.
And so it kind of sounds muffled, but it's not, it's just like masking.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. I'm so sorry, but
yeah, no,
it sounds like there's a couple of layers in between his voice and what we're hearing, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a mic choice or some kind of post-production effect that's added. But yeah, it's really cool. Really cool.
Okay, so I have to mention.
Okay.
So as the song's going on, I go, I know that when we talked to the band back in March of 2022, when we were talking about Out of the Grave, Ultraviolet Battle Hymns and True Confessions came into our conversation, and I have just like 4 quotes.
Oh,
Steve Wynn.
Wow. Okay.
So I had that it's a new direction, but it's the same old Dream Syndicate.
Okay.
That it's a step forward for the band.
Okay.
There are hits with a new step forward, and that the single Where I'll Stand was rehearsed in July of 2021 a couple of times, and then one take wonders.
Wow.
Record, done.
Wow. So do you think all those statements are true, Soraya? Now that we're 4 songs,
Look.
almost halfway through.
As we're into this, I definitely think it's a step in a new direction. I do think it's because this is different than what we have heard. I'm thinking of the last 2 albums. Different.
Yeah.
But you still, it's Dream Syndicate. You hear it. There are the certain kind of telltale sounds and vibe of Dream Syndicate. But yeah, this is different than what we have heard in these last 2 albums.
Yeah. Yeah. When you say the telltale aspects to Dream Syndicate, to me, that's like the rhythm section with what Mark and Dennis do. And they come, they always seem to have this groove that's always like holding the song down, like the solid cake part of the song. And then you've got Steve's vocal delivery, which is I think very consistent throughout the records. And then you have what Chris adds with the keyboards, and Jason coming in with his bizarre guitar parts a lot of the times, things that he comes up with that are amazing, that I don't know how like a guitar player comes up with the parts that he approaches. But to me, like, that's the Dream Syndicate sound. And
100%.
Whether they're doing a 20-minute jam or a 2-minute 52-second Chronicles of You, it's got that feeling of the Dream Syndicate. So
amazing.
Well, we're almost halfway through. This would be the end of side A for us vinyl listeners, and it's called Hard to Say Goodbye. And that already tugged my heartstrings just to hear that. So I don't know what we're saying goodbye to, but let's give this one a listen.
Shiny objects flicker, and then you've lost another day. Like a hole in the sky, makes it hard to say goodbye. Every little trick, every little hit, every little kick, every little thing is fine. Every little trick, every little hit, makes it hard to say goodbye.
Long live Pink Floyd. So that definitely at the beginning, I almost wanted to start singing Us Versus Them from Dark Side of the Moon and then Steve came in something totally different. I'm like, oh boy. So
took you out.
Pulled me in.
Pulled you in, but no, he took you out
of Floyd.
Yeah.
So it definitely with that slide guitar in there, which I'm pretty sure is a slide guitar, but it almost sounds like a lap steel sound. And with all that reverb that's on it, it's super airy, and then the cool trumpet part.
That trumpet part, I wrote down sad trumpet. And it just, but it's like, it's super melancholy, but it adds another layer into this song. And that's why, like, I was pounding my chest. This song is like a gut punch.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like when you don't belong anymore.
Right off the bat, right? I mean, those are I think the first line.
And then I know I'm missing a word, but this is what the ground looks like. And I think it's from so far away. Yeah. I wrote down, this is what the ground looks like so far away. And I just started following, where the lyrics were taking me. Did you make your case? This is what makes it hard to say goodbye.
This could, I could even hear like this on like a 70s Bowie album too. David Bowie, like Space Oddity or something.
Yeah. I think just David Gilmour. I think you hit it on the nose with Pink Floyd.
That definitely has that super chill Dark Side of the Moon vibe.
Oh,
I'm saying that I just went to see a Pink Floyd tribute band, so maybe I just have
Pink Floyd. Maybe we've got Pink Floyd on the brain.
Yeah. Super vibey and chill.
All right, track 6.
All right, so time.
Oh no, track 5.
I think we're on 6. Yep, time to flip the album over.
Whoop.
All right, so this is Every Time You Come Around, another co-write with Emil.
Every to take my name. Someone's trying to find someone to blame. Every time you come around, every time you come around.
Wow.
See, we flipped it over, and now we start off with a completely different song.
I really like that one, Soraya, a lot. I was thinking that one would be really cool to hear live. Speaking
Yes.
of which, the band will be playing some shows next month. July 27th at the Soda Bar in San Diego, July 28th in Highland Park at the Lodge Room. I hope to be at that show. Cafe du Nord in San Francisco on July 30th. And then I think they're going to Philadelphia, Washington, New York in September, and into the UK afterwards.
Mhm.
But that song was really cool. Sorry, I liked there was a couple lines in there that I picked up that I thought were interesting. I like where he says, "Tell me what you think is inappropriate, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. Tell me what you think is obvious, and I'll tell you why you're wrong." I want to know who this person is when they come around. Every time they come around, what they seem to think that they know some things that are inappropriate and that are obvious, but they're always wrong. So I like the lyrical delivery and
Yeah.
that kind of driving guitar. I'm guessing it's Steve, that ding 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 in the background, and then all the layering that's on top of it, very reminiscent of Dream Syndicate in their style, like we were talking earlier.
Yes.
But this is one of my favorites right off the bat so far.
I'm liking it.
Awesome. All right, so the next one is another co-write, the last co-write on the album with drummer Dennis Duck. I'm trying to get over, so let's hear what they do with this one.
All right.
All the unwed mothers cooling off in the shade, signing off the proclamation, Independence Day parade. I'm not trying to get over, I'm not trying to understand. Well,
2 words, Mark Walton, the bass.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun. Yes.
Very
Excellent.
cool runs. Yeah, yeah. So to me, this one is the song that most sounds like the mid 80s version of Dream Syndicate, like Medicine Show era,
Mhm.
maybe. Not exactly, but out of what we've heard today, this
Yes.
one's most like it. And I bet this one's cool live too.
Oh my gosh, this
Beautiful
one's
jam.
got to just absolutely knock it out of the park live.
Yeah. And if they play the song when we see them, I'm going to be moving over in front of Mark. And yeah.
just to see the master at work. Yeah, those bass lines are ridiculous in this song.
Yeah. And then on parts of that, Dennis kicks into these things on the, he does the hi-hats and triplets or 16ths or whatever they call it when they're
Yeah.
so just on little parts of it, very tastefully done. So very cool. I like this one.
Yeah, this one's good.
Probably the most up-tempo song so far. I
So
wanna say.
far, we got 3 more.
All right. So that being said, the next one, track number 8? Lesson number 1. All right, let's hear it, Steve. What's lesson number 1?
lesson number 1 is just a warning. Before you run, you aren't expected to remember anything. Lesson number 2 is when you find out what to do, and now you're really in the swing, but you aren't learning anything. Lesson number 3 is when the breeze begins to shift and the wind begins to lift and fight against the pace. Lesson number 4 is just lesson number 3 with an adjustment at the end where you try to save face.
All right, so that's a totally another direction too. So this might be the most dissonant, maybe darkest sounding one so far. And it starts off with, it sounded like some kind of string, like violin note, but there's no violins listed in the credits that I saw.
So I'm wondering if that's a keyboard sound or someone playing around on guitar.
Maybe, but that sound at the beginning was super.
Yeah, it was like, it was stark.
Yeah. And then it kicks in and it's really cool. So this will probably end up being my least favorite or most favorite song. The ones that have this kind of vibe to it. So I'm very curious after multiple listens how this one, where this one will end up falling to me. Initially, I really like it. It reminds me of later era Camper Van Beethoven, especially the delivery with the lead singer David Lowry from Camper Van Beethoven has a very similar delivery in some of his songs that Steve has here. And what was that one line? Lesson number 3 is just like lesson number 2 with a minor adjustment or something like that. Something like
lesson
that.
number 4 is just lesson number 3.
Oh, okay.
And then something like this is where you save face.
Oh,
Because I was writing them down. I go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to 8, and then after 8, the lessons changed. Like I heard lesson number C, and then I heard score, and then I heard all sorts of different things. So they took a turn.
Yeah.
But I like the cadence of the song. Dun dun da boom, dun 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 da boom, bum bum. It's like over and over. It's like when you're a kid and you're reciting like multiplication rules. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. It had that cadence, and but with a cool message in it. Like lesson 7 and 8 is where you misbehave.
Oh.
This is why I want a lyric sheet.
Yes. So today we're just doing our initial reaction, so we don't have time to dig into these and really
take them apart
and process
but
these, right? So
like it.
This is just what we're thinking right off the bat. So
And the next song resonates with me just by the title alone. Number 9, My Lazy Mind.
Wow.
Tasted fear from the tap, spilled a little in my lap, stained the main, the losses gained, another feather in my cap. It's easier to smile, compile, and keep the peace for a little while. It's not that I can't stand the pain, it just gets hard to ascertain. Underwhelmed and underlined, blame it on my lazy mind.
Wow. Cool brushwork on the drums by
I was gonna say those drums they remind me of jazz drums, all that brushwork
and the saxophone. I wanted to mention that with lesson number 1. I forgot to mention that with Marcus Tenney's saxophone. Very cool. The song has a vibe to me, like some of the more recent Bob Dylan stuff. Did you listen to that Murder Most Foul song, like JFK from that Rough and Rowdy Ways album from 2020? It has that kind of vibe to me where it's like this jazzy thing going on in the background and very cool Steve Wynn delivery. The vocals are very hot in the mix. They're very high. Very cool. I like this one.
Yeah, this one's a good one.
Yeah, and it's pretty even. It stays in a very chill zone. I mean,
I kept waiting. I was, those things where you're like expecting some sort of pickup. In tempo, and it just stayed. And and then with Steve's vocals, again, like the image in my head, it was like I was being led down this kind of dark path, but trusting the voice taking me down the road. like the imagery just felt very dark, but it's still very cool. This is a really different vibe song.
Yeah, to me, this is a standout track for me. All right, so this brings us to the very, very last song, Straight Lines, which could be about a few different things that come to my mind right away, but we'll see. So this is the closing track from Ultraviolet Battle Hymns and True Confessions, Straight Lines.
You gotta hang tight till the morning light. You gotta choose your shots or you might get caught. The way you push when you lose a fight, some animal thing that can't be taught. Keep moving, be fine. They're not straight lines.
Wow. So there's the Paisley Underground psychedelic rave up.
That is a freak out.
Yeah.
If ever there was one. What a song.
At first, when it first started, the first thing that came to mind was Elvis Costello because of the organ playing and the up tempo. But then it just kind of dissolved. After that, I was like, no, this ain't no straightforward pop song.
No.
I mean,
and then that chorus, keep moving. And then I think it says, keep in mind, or you will find these are not straight lines.
Yeah, some of those guitar.
What a hot
things.
song.
Yeah, and what Chris is doing on the organ.
It's insanity. I kept, like making notes like Chris.
Yeah.
And then the guitars, man.
Mm-hmm. You could hear Steve and Jason doing
just going off. That song live.
Yeah. What do you think about that being the closer?
Look, I was just thinking about that because with Where I'll Stand being the opener, I thought that was it's a good choice, brings us in, but then we end with this slam dunk.
Right after My Lazy Mind, which was the brushes and jazzy.
Yeah. And then they just, turn the amps to 11 and go, oh.
Kick it into fifth gear.
I think it's an interesting choice to end it. But then when you think of the bookmarks, we're getting two different things. And everything in the middle is continuously kind of building on this image, this puzzle that is the band. And I don't think there's one track that you can say, oh, this is absolutely positively the only representation of the band at this moment.
No, they go so many different places.
Yeah, and I like that they did.
Yeah,
that
they zig when they could have zagged, as Steve said, straight lines.
They did so many different things on this album, and they really presented us with a really complete picture of the scope of their influences, and like it was saying, we're getting now some 70s, German krautrock, and we're getting some other influences. I like this step.
I do too. I'm real curious how this will play out over multiple listens for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, this was my first listen. This was just pure
off the cuff, right?
Off the cuff. Now I want to listen to it about 2 more times just to kind of get it in my system, get it flowing through my veins.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's my copy, Soraya?
You know what? USPS, hurry up, or UPS or FedEx, whoever.
Yes.
I will say this. So I opened the CD, and what's inside is another sleeve that says Fire Records on it. And then the CD.
Okay.
And there is a fold out.
Oh.
Of just like the album.
Okay.
Of that
photo?
credit.
Yeah.
Page.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But no postcard. with a download code.
I guess they figure it's already digital. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure they're figuring if you didn't get the album, you don't need no code.
I ordered the black vinyl and the CD, so hopefully those.
Whew.
And
Man, what an album.
yeah.
You know, Jeff, let's stop and think for a second. In the past 4 or 5 years, how many albums have we gotten from the Dream Syndicate?
I think this is the 4th.
It just shows they still have something to do and something to say.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's good.
Yep. So in 2017, we got How Did I Find Myself Here? 2019, These Times, The Universe Inside 2020, and here we are with Ultraviolet Battle Hymns and True Confessions, and they're going to be touring. So and I think that tour they're playing The Days of Wine and Roses in full at the first set. Isn't that what we were told at one point? So I don't know if that's still the case, but Steve did tell us a couple of years back that they were planning. I don't know if that's still the case, but I think he said they were going to play that album in full, the first set, and then
in celebration of the 40th year of release. Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't know if that's still the case, but at one point that was the plan. Whew, great album. I am looking forward to digging into this a little bit deeper. And on our next episode, we will be joined by Ronnie Barnett, and he wanted us to cover a Frontier Records band. Frontier released some early 3 o'clock stuff, so we have a connection there. And the band is Flying Color. So we've got at least a couple of members from that band that are going to be joining us, I believe, on our next episode.
Yes.
Including Hector Peñalosa,
right.
Peñalosa, who we met, who's the leader of the Zeros, among other bands. But we met him when we saw them play with The Last and Danny the Doorknobs and Alley Cats. Yeah, that was a great show. But
that was...
so coming up next, Flying Color with Ronnie Barnett and members of the band.
I want to hear this album again.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now.
All right. Gente, a groovear.
Groove on, Paisley people.